Okay, welcome everyone to our April regular meeting. Let's get started. Let's see, it's a old business, first old business, Harmon Farm Farmland Operation Maintenance Agreement. So red lines.
Well, yeah, I know,
Okay.
that was just, I had a note in there from our last discussion, the clarification on the number of ponds, that are there, so I just need to put pen to paper, but we have met for, Zach's leave, Gary, Tim and Sean and sort of put heads together, and Gary's been out, checked it out. I drove through, I was heading up a little bit early today, so I had to move through phase two just to check things out. Everything's looking pretty good from my vantage point. They're down in there. I think your garage, somebody's garage door was wide open. I'm happy with that. Or somebody was chasing, they were stopping traffic to chase a basketball on the street.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
Yes. So we have that at least in draft format and conceptually lined up. We have recorded the deeds of dedication for the streets from the developer, which is a different process than we typically do. Where we accept infrastructure through ordinance as a litigation. That was the resolution for that one. There isn't a maintenance period or maintenance agreement. So we have been plowing the streets for some time and doing some other work there after the absence of the developer, but it is official, at least in terms of the position. So our proposal here would be to sort of finalize this agreement, have Zach sit down with the chair, the president of the HOA, to start talking it through respect to how this would work. We do have funds that we seized from the developer. Agreement, we acknowledge that certain of those are being used for costs in terms of review and things that have not been reimbursed. But we were going to convey the rest, through this agreement to the HOA to do with it as they need, with respect to any other infrastructure, namely sidewalks, which is not the borough's responsibility long-term for maintenance and repairs.
As part of prep for this, we had Public Works go and do thorough inspections to make sure we're not taking over any infrastructure that has major damage that we're gonna have to repair soon. Specifically a giant culvert that goes underneath one of the main roadways, retaining wall, and then all the catch basins. We did identify, I think Gary said it was around $8,000 worth of repairs that are gonna be needed in stormwater via catch basins, right, Gary?
Yes.
And so the question is, are we gonna eat that cost as a part of our just general operation, or would we, take that additional off? Instead of taking infrastructure that we know is faulty.
What do we normally take it off? In general, before accepting infrastructure?
Normally, we would have the developer, Sean would go out and give a punch list, say, these are things that need to be pretty pristine by the time. I mean, this is after construction's over, everything else. Cracks repaired, saw cutting, doing repairs throughout, and look to the developer to do it. Then once that's done and we do the acceptance process, we have 18 months to watch for any other defects of craftsmanship materials or actual damage. That's the difference here. And we would, in terms of the other costs for inspections and reviews, that would be on the developer as well. We have winter maintenance fees based on the linear footage for plowing and salting when these are still private streets. That portion.
So our options are take 8,000 out for
Or give them a 40,700 originally discussed.
and the borough each the cost.
8,000.
Thoughts?
A whole lot of stuff. Sorry, a lot of conflicts, obvious stuff.
So is this 8,000 that will fall into pay now?
Yeah, we that would be the cost of materials for Public Works to repair the infrastructure that's damaged.
So this is in the budget or is it?
So we budget $300,000 for stormwater repairs in general, right? But we're taking on faulty infrastructure that we know is faulty, that we know is gonna cost $8,000 to fix. Normally, like Max said, we would have the developer pay to fix it, because that's not an option. The money that we seize from the developer is in lieu of the developer fixing it, right? So if you were to fix that, that's the money that should be used, right? And or at least that's my opinion on it. I would think if we're gonna fix that, then we need to pass that cost along and take that, council's decision, yeah.
This plan has been like built for
Wow.
a while, right? Is there a developer still? There's no developer, right? I know.
That was the last. Yeah, I mean, and
I only have.
the settlement agreement is a public record. Can be provided. It did not specify, it just said, because we had seized that it was essentially their retainage and a little bit for ENS control that we're still holding, so. A little less than $50,000 as part of it, so we got to keep that, and it didn't say anything about what we were using. It was just for the idea of,
Just in case.
well, I mean, just in terms of what the HOA, because I had to deal with the developer too. At the end of the day, primarily it is sidewalk issues and not $50,000 for the other work in like street cracks or culverts and things like that.
Yeah. I agree with you. They came up at 42.7.
So 32.
Yeah.
32,746.
So is it Franklin Park that's gonna be doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, Gary? Our guys are gonna do the work.
Yeah, our guys
Yeah.
do the work.
And then the only thing that's not material, okay.
Couple things
Go
down.
for it.
First of all, we already communicated to the HOA the amount that we were giving them. There were
Yes.
no, that certainly wasn't a signed agreement, but there were no caveats when that information was conveyed to them. Second of all, a lot of these deficiencies were communicated to the borough 7, 8 years ago. So yes, a lot of the curbs and the C tops are damaged, but the borough was aware of that while the developer was still there. So that's what it should.
I didn't know the price of what it would cost to fix. Dan understand it when we originally talked to the HOA. Yeah, so that's the change in the approval.
Lori, ever recommendation?
I do not.
Okay, Brian, proceeding all the way in, Dina.
I mean, I think that my problem is I don't want to be spending that money on this particular like issue because it comes up, occasionally, and then you create this precedent where you like spend money to fix somebody else's problem. That's the problem.
Okay, so which way are you going? Take the 8K off the 40K or release 40K?
Think that it can. It should go to the tax bit that we shouldn't be giving our taxpayers for this.
Yeah, I was, who decided that 40K being reimbursed to HOA actually something?
There's a
Proposal
settlement.
from HOA?
There's a settlement.
Well, the settlement agreement didn't address, because the HOA wasn't a party to it, it just said the developer was giving up their claims to try to recoup that 48,000 that we had seized. So it was just as part of the discussions, as for say, recognizing that this has been going on for so long. Yes, we could reimburse ourselves for other things, winter maintenance, but if that was costs that are already done over the bridge, under the bridge. So that it wasn't, these were discussions more recently, with the month, what do we do? How do we finalize it? And, although the roads were sort of dedicated, we've got these ponds that would have been addressed through a typical acceptance process, but different. So that's the other purpose of this operation and maintenance agreement, is essentially to have the borough step in the place of the developer who originally had signed an agreement and put it in place. we would be responsible for 3 ponds going forward, so that's both maintenance and repairs, so it's not an HOA responsibility. We have other developments where the HOA is responsible for it, Settlers Walk, except for the one we just took over or so, we just don't have a, you know, a super consistent of every single pond is public. But this one was private and not expressly dedicated to the borough and the developer's plans, so that is the overarching agreement. The money is one part of it. And I guess, Gary, I mean, in terms of that type of work, could we, commit to the HOA that it will be done this summer? Or, it's not going to be something that we say, okay, but we don't get to it till 3 years from now. So,
We could probably get to it at some point later on this summer. I mean, we get paving season stuff starting right now, so we got a lot of stuff on our plate right now. It'll probably have to be later in the summer. Because we still got, we got some other areas and stuff that we're gonna do a lot of work on too, just to get our paving done.
You have all the pipe and belt with this, so.
Yes.
On the areas that we're paving, there's some infrastructure problems.
okay.
That's your question.
Yep. Basically going for part of the meeting.
Okay. Kristen, or the other.
No, I think I probably said too much already, but I mean.
I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing for the residents.
Okay. All right, so
We can make the revisions as discussed.
Okay.
See how best to present it.
Yeah.
Okay. New business, regular agenda tonight, things. Major real estate here, not me.
Yeah, I hope single finger group.
That's blue on it. There it is. Too much to it now.
Oh, yeah, one of those like rings. Anyway, get what you paid for. Oh, you're awarding $1 billion contract tomorrow. Stay tuned for that one. Yes, in terms of the scholarship recipients, are you guys going over
Yeah.
the process? What do you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So, today,
Yes.
Well, that's
Today
the,
we just announced,
and
and then they're invited to come to the May meeting to
Right there, left foot,
with
to
their
your right.
scholarship vouchers.
there you go. Okay. Yeah, just making sure.
We've done those.
What do you want your?
It was
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And then it may like.
and you have,
Yes,
Yeah.
usually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, I'll read it real quick. That sounds good.
in terms of the, 2 ordinances, those, were introduced, they're ready to be, adopted. Folks sat in on the, property maintenance code presentation at ALOM on Friday with respect to, I think the line they said, you ugly is not illegal. Was the phrase that the magistrate, that was there that, came around. So we're keeping up with things by passing the updated international property maintenance code. With respect to other items, I've talked about both before and at the work session. I'll jump down to the bottom. We do have the introduction of the data center ordinance. Once again, with a conflict substantively with respect to any advice or guidance on the content of an ordinance, but I am able to work and have started working with Kathy on the enactment process. So you'll see a reference there to the June regular meeting rather than the May regular meeting. That's because with the zoning ordinance, there's a different process and review period, essentially 45 days to the planning commission, county economic development. Funny that is missed by AI when you ask through code council to explain the ordinance enactment process for zoning. They forget about that separate section, places with comp plans. So be that as it may, do have that on there. be sent and circulated to the Planning Commission, Allegheny County Economic Development. We'll have a public hearing in June, be advertised for potential action, but you don't need to act at June if you want to consider comments either from those planning agencies or the public. This is also a zoning map change. So we did review, we'll need to, whatever the map is going to look like, we need to send personal mail notice 30 days in advance of the public hearing to property owners in that area and post the area. That's right.
That's it. Any questions? Manager report sessions, we'll back from, guys.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna keep it light. I still getting caught up in everything. I know that in the last two council meetings, we have talked about, some sort of resident complaint procedure. I met with the mayor last week. This is something I'd already kind of been working on, had met with a couple different software companies for options for us. Andy and I did kind of determine that one of the software we already purchased and use actively has this compatibility. So Andy's been working on that over the last couple of months, trying to get that ready. And so we're hoping to have that rolled out here within the next month on our website. So residents can come in, direct complaints to whatever department that they have an issue with. So there's clear communication right to our department heads to address this. And we'll have an active log.
Yeah, log, a central
That
database.
saves the log in the database.
Will we be able to, or staff be able to input in that, or does it just have to come?
Yes, anybody can. You,
Do we have to go through the website portal, or can we?
yeah, so staff can go externally. Anybody else would go front facing or internally. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
So we can see that. We know.
Yeah, so like we could print out a report every month of, you know, what kind of complaints we're receiving or track trends, you know, what we're seeing, you know.
And I think one of my concerns was, I get an individual email from a resident, because my email address is out there. Can I go somewhere to see that this resident has complained for the past 10 years to somebody else on council? And now they're finally coming to me. But how could I see that this resident has his or her complaint has already been addressed by somebody else on council, and I'm not the first one? That was kind of where I was coming from, to know if somebody else had already been called by this person. Because if it's a log that just residents go to, there's different, you know, avenues for people to contact council and myself, or the chief, or whomever department heads. I guess that's what I'm struggling.
Yeah, I mean, the log will be for internal workings for staff. It won't necessarily be for council. You know, you guys are still gonna be, what happens is whenever they come to us and we tell them the answer, which is you, if it's no, right, they bypass us and go to council, right? And so the quickest way for you to find out is just to contact us, because we'll have access to the log, because it's through, you know, our website.
But if council isn't a part of it, I'm gonna have to like reach out to everybody and say, hey, is this person on Locust Drive ever contacted you?
I mean, it would be one
Two
person,
decades.
it would be one person. Or not one person on at the borough.
I don't know. I guess that's not really addressing my
No,
concern.
I'm just being that, like, for example, Dawn and I, Andy, have access and call one of us and say, hey, we have anything from this address. We tell you yes or no.
So it's not, you have to interact with them to get the information. You can't,
I don't know who they have interacted with. In the
oh, historically of it, yeah.
I don't know. if
And this
they-
database is gonna take time to build, so you're not gonna have that information
you know, I
immediately.
don't know if they've called their prior, you know, ward council person, or the chief of police, or a borough council, or Max, the solicitor, I don't know, or the, you know, public works. I'm getting, you know, requests, and it could have gone to a multiple slew of people. As far as, you know, their concern and their request, and, you know, I don't want to respond and say, sorry, you know, you've already been there, done that, sorry, no. I also don't want to say, oh yeah, I'll take care of that, but it's already been taken care of. So I guess I'm at a loss of how we can, as a group, and a group meaning this room, have some sort of communication system to address resident concerns that are not emergencies. Obviously, 911's called, that are, that come up every day. I get calls about, can we combine, glass with plastic in our waste? I'm like, I don't know, it's like some centralized place that we can all communicate as a group for certain concerns. So I don't have to be like, hey, have you talked to this guy in Locust? Have you talked to this guy? Have you talked, that's what I'm struggling with. And I apologize. I don't know. I'm sure there's no answers, but that's what I'm kind of looking
It
for.
almost sounds like a Slack, it's,
Yeah,
we're
just
locked in,
emails.
yeah.
And I mean, and I know we can't be divulging personal information and discussing things we shouldn't be discussing by email. But
Complaints aren't necessarily, not something that.
I mean-
Are they really?
You're debating and deliberating pros and
They
cons,
can't-
but not for historical purposes.
did anybody talk to anybody on West Singlemar Road about needing a stop sign?
So if they've been like asking for this for like 5 years ago, that predates like me and you.
Obviously,
So we can't help the fact that they contacted the borough 5 years ago and nothing's up.
right,
But if they
So-
contact us now, that's fine.
right.
This,
So starting something
yep,
new.
so if this form is there, it's not gonna have like historical contact, like it could just be stuff.
No, anything that's happened in the past, obviously, is the past, but something to start moving
And
forward.
if this is like the form, I kind of feel like the process is, or the protocol is to ask the residents who go fill out a request. And that is how a lot of communities are. You need to get something done, fill out a service.
Zach and I met, and he showed me something that Pine Richland has on their website. But thinking about it, like, do we really want all these complaints on a website for anybody in the community to see?
Well, I don't think they'd be public facing,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
Yours were, yeah.
theirs were, yeah.
Were they anonymous? Or they
It was
by
anonymous.
Well, but the topic was not
Yeah, the top
anonymous.
button, so like pothole on Reach Run.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that would.
And there's a pin dot on the location, right? Submitted pending.
Was that just for road complaints or?
For everything, for codes, you could report your neighbor, if their chickens right on them, so when they're in, in violation.
That would be
it's everything.
open? Like anyone could?
Yeah, and I don't know that we want that.
No,
No, I'm not sure what problem that would be solving for us.
Yeah,
we making.
no, but not solving my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This generates a file, right? So this has like a spreadsheet or something, right?
Honestly, for what I
Yeah.
was asking for, a spreadsheet's probably the best place. to start.
So it's a searchable, can we do a searchable spreadsheet or Google sheet?
Yeah.
I'm meeting with Andy on Friday to review what it looks like and whether or not, those responses will be publicly viewed, which my first thought is no. So they can be submitted to us, but the only person that would get a response whenever it's clear. One year compliant.
But it only goes to staff.
Correct.
But you could maybe create a shared sheet for everybody on council so they can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that, would you want that a part of your report every month? Or do you want
You
Hunter
just
to
want,
access
you
all?
want, you
Yeah,
just
I
want
didn't
access
know
to
it.
it, right?
I don't know what it would look like, so,
Well, we're still working that out.
yeah, so I can't really answer.
I think for me, if it's, a database that's in Excel, somebody calls or emails me, I can go and say, oh, hey, look into that, and I see, okay, there's already 10 entries in this
Right.
spreadsheet, then I know it's handled.
Right,
If there's not, then I know, okay, well, this is something we're gonna go look at.
and yeah, you can respond and say,
You
I
will.
see that Curtis is already, addressing this.
So if there's access to a shared spreadsheet where we have the ability to edit at least portions of it, even if it's just a pull down,
I would think so, or if
something.
it's something that gets exported and then we play with it.
Just as far as.
Still working,
Right, that's.
Yeah, that's what I see. It's
We'll see
searchable.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least like.
Yeah,
you can
I don't
have
think
it
I
set
want
up, like,
to-
just
Okay.
automatically
Not
have a spreadsheet
necessarily.
every Friday or something. No,
I mean,
can't
the box would be like the person's address and the complaint and to whom
Yeah.
they directed the complaint, if it was multiple council people or the mayor or, you know, whatever it is. And then where it was referred to, which staff member was referred to, and then what was the resolution? That way you'd have your answers to your question just by
Or you know who to contact and say, hey, what's the
That too.
background on this?
that too, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it wouldn't be very complex.
let's see what they come up with.
Yeah, I'll do more Friday.
Yep.
So for your clarification, that, does this mean that whenever we hear from our residents, and so we can forward that email to Daddy or somewhere else?
Which
You
one?
do that already now, you know, I address complaints all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then you put that information on the.
Whatever the system is.
spreadsheet, on the sheet, and then, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, it's just a way for us to track internally
Yeah.
what we're seeing over.
So
Well,
can
and
we,
externally, so count, or so, that's it, you know, submit as well.
so can we tell like our residents that again, they will be taken care of and
Yeah, one-
so we'll.
Yeah, once I get everything up and ready, start letting everybody know.
Okay, that's, and yeah, we need to have this kind of like, I would say like platform or like a procedure, so and everybody can follow, and then we don't need to deal with that one and the individual.
Yeah.
So we can-
Yeah, there'll still be like a gap in knowledge base for a while, as that database builds, just because there'll be institutional knowledge that isn't gonna be represented there.
Mhm. Great, that sounds.
Yeah, check it out.
Nope, that's all I had for now.
Okay, cool, person talking there, meeting other person.
Just honestly, I saw the public works guys out in force that collected and brush over these past couple of weeks. Looked like they were doing a great job. They're doing a great job with my house, so I appreciate it. I know the community appreciates it.
Yeah, but
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
So about the old business, was the resolution that was decided today, was that we were gonna spend money towards that? Or is it like more complex than that? It's a little bit.
We have a chunk of money that we seized and then the boroughs right now to do with whatever we need to
Yeah.
with respect to.
Is that the 40,000?
45.
45.
Yeah.
And then we'd already withheld, or we're gonna reimburse certain costs, from that amount, and then there was a question of, then there's additional work that needs to be done. It comes from the general fund or from them.
Yeah, there was some damaged sidewalks from the developer that the HOA is responsible for maintaining. And so our original thought was to give the funds to the HOA to help repair sidewalks. But we have, outstanding costs of the borough itself that we've already paid, whether it be engineering fees from free, and then now work that we know that needs to be done. And so the question is, how do we separate that money?
Okay, yeah, that was my only.
Me. Okay. I know, enough already probably. Just a couple things. Some of us were at, the conference last weekend and, I learned a lot from it. And I think was very helpful. Not necessarily all substantive knowledge, but some substantive knowledge, but a lot of networking opportunities, and to see that other communities are dealing with the same issues that Franklin Park deals with. Different levels of issues, but the same issues. And I found that very helpful. I also, I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but took the award for that we're a banner community. And so I have it with me. Do we have a place to frame it and put it up?
Banner.
I mean, it's a certificate, but I mean, you go into a restaurant and it's like, the best Mexican restaurant in 2026, whatever. But, anyway, I think it's something though that we should be proud of. And let the community know that we are a banner community through ALUM. I don't know, I think that's important.
Very good.
Sharing, sharing information and sharing successes, as the community. So I'm also working with, Donna in particular, with some, social media, improvements, or maybe improvements is the right word. Embellishments, thank you. Just to get our name out there to the community. I have neighbors and friends that have no clue about certain things. And I'm like, are you on social media? I'm like, yeah, but we don't see anything. So, all right, let's put something on social media. So I'm trying to get some information like that out there. There's some upcoming events that I know you guys are all aware of, most likely the Blueberry Park opening day on Saturday for Little League, and then the trash cleanup on Nicholson Road. These are great, I think, PR events for our borough, and let's get it out there and let's do it. So
When is the Nicholson cleanup?
Saturday,
Yeah.
10 a.m. Is that right? Yeah.
We're meeting.
Walk at the YMCA. At the Y. You're supposed to tell Donna if you're going. She has a master list.
There every year.
That's what I'm told. So, yeah.
Is it a pain to get a photo of the award that Kristen's got, stick it up on the front page of the?
I've got a picture on my phone. I sent
It's
it.
already on Facebook. I mean, on
With the
the
award.
front page, like,
Yeah, I sent it. Yeah.
okay.
We're also a bird town.
Yeah.
Let's get it out there. I don't know.
I agree, I'm not laughing.
I know you're not.
I mean, I am laughing, but.
And then the final thing is, I just got this in my mail. That McAllen's Franklin Park Ambulance Authority, their annual reports. If anybody, year in review 2025, if anybody is interested, I can share information. Just came in my mail, so.
And just so folks have the chair of the board, also Franklin Park, Jamie. On those, the chairman. Chair. Where's the names?
Do you want me to say?
Laura?
Couple questions, have the waste management calls slowed down at all?
I know that we were having issues with that. I know we spoke with Waste Management and their supplier for the carts. Supposed to come out last week and start swapping them out. The supplier themselves, not Waste Management. But I haven't heard anything different from Donna since then.
Okay.
Waste Management's doing a good job of breaking them stuff.
Yeah.
Long lasting 3 weeks, they already did it.
Not my department, but I don't know.
Still ongoing.
Yeah, I think that they're, the process is swapping them out. I know there was a shortage from the supplier. That's why the suppliers now swapping them out themselves. It's a supply chain issue.
Okay, and I know we had some changes to our recycling protocol that was in the newsletter. But several people have said to me that they didn't know that that's happening. So
I don't even know.
But we should put that on social media. I think it's by shape now, not by number for plastic.
Oh, what is it? It's not by number.
They rhyme, it's like mugs and jugs or something like that.
Oh, yeah, mugs and jugs.
Something, cups and cups, I don't know. Anyway, we should let people know that that's, I mean, we have let people know, but on social media, where people actually read things.
By shape.
I think that's it.
Brian?
I am good tonight.
First of all, thanks, Zach, Deerfield. So folks don't know, there was a hazardous spill there. Sounds like it's a pretty big debacle, and developer is on the hunt for it, and a contractor.
It would be,
Yeah,
It's a Schroeder concrete.
yeah.
okay. Who is contracted by the developer, right? So
Contracted by the builder.
developer, yeah.
The developer sells the lots of it.
Yeah. So we're, bottom line, we're not.
Yeah.
Remedy of no.
We haven't accepted it.
But nobody has a picture of the vehicle spray hydraulic.
Oh, I bet somebody does.
Harry does.
I got a picture of the truck when they were getting ready to pull out. When I got over there, they were just pulling out.
Yeah.
The guy said, yeah, he had a phone hydraulic hose, the mechanic was there. And they both pulled out at the same time. I got a picture of the license plate and the truck.
So right now, the situation is controlled, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and, so the community is,
Our fire department, responded and worked with, Allegheny County Admin in order to handle the situation, yes.
And then, as Kristen said, he was very long, similar nice. So it's a couple
So
times.
next.
Yeah, oh yeah, Max. And Sean was yeah, so, Lauren went to this data center presentation on Friday, which, I would say was smart sales pitch. They were not technical, it was, yeah, I'll stop there, but, I'm just glad we put in our ordinance there, because there's quite a bit of session that it's just, I think people just were not sold or just very confused, but I believe I had a lot of things that the press was on things and stuff, so then. We got to hear from the DA, on LPRs especially, which Chief, has been working on. A lot of good sessions, there's even a bird count session, which I don't know. He went to, but, just yeah. But yeah, we did meet with a lot of our other communities and issues.
I got the information.
Yeah, it's, they're facing the same issues, you know, we're in 2 or 3 communities, we basically going ran through their reserves. So as much as, you know, the organizations here, for the park, they're either the same or even bigger elsewhere, so. Oh, yeah, it was productive.
Hey,
But,
I'm sorry, I would like to add, not Eglon, but, I did attend the EAC, meeting here, and I've attended the planning commission, and we're just learning about what all is going on and taking back from all of these committees and councils, so, the EAC has a lot going on, and there's some good people on it, so. Commend them,
volunteers.
yes, volunteers.
Yeah, so that's it,
Litter cleanup,
we have an executive session.